Hello, everyone. I am Yoshi Lan, back again on YouTube after a prolonged duration of research and fun. So, it's been about 7 months, 7 days, and 7 hours. I have no idea how long it's been, but it's probably been more than 7 months, right? So, you're probably wondering, what the hey with all of this corona stuff? Why are we getting a pandemic in 2020 when it's supposed to be an amazing year of peace and harmony and connection? The good old 2020 numerology, right? Well, there's a lot of stuff to be said about that. And there's been all these different doomsday scenarios that's been presented. And if you are a doomsday enthusiast, I am thoroughly excited to tell you that nope, the world is not ending. Maybe your world, but not everybody else's. So just keep it to yourself, yeah? Yep. There's a whole bunch of stuff I heard, like last December 21, this whole 1221 mirror thing and all this other shenanigans, and then the Christians talking about the second coming and all that revelations nonsense. No. No. The world's not ending. Things are just going fine. So that brings us down to, okay, so if the world's not ending, then what the dilly? What is up with all of this pandemic stuff? Well, in order to understand that, we must first take a look at what a virus is. Why do you suppose, on a spiritual level, that a person would attract a virus, right? Common sense thinking, or not really common sense, conventional thinking on a spiritual basis would be like, oh, if you got a virus, you must have done something bad, it's bad karma. No, this has nothing to do with karma, actually. It has everything to do, though, with ignoring your own soul healing. So, what happens when somebody has a virus? Their body gets hot, right? They start sweating. What is sweating? Sweating is a form of purging, detox. Sometimes they vomit. What is vomiting? Also, another form of purging, right? Food poisoning, purging, all of these stuff, diarrhea, all of these things are purging, and also excessive urination. That's also another form of purging. So, if you purge correctly and you give yourself time to purge the energies, your viral symptoms actually won't be that bad. They won't be that bad at all. Last year, when my mom was getting the flu, I just gave her some chai tea, which is the ultimate flu buster. Chai with a few extra energy ingredients in there that will help my mom. And then a few hours later, she was well enough to go to work. That's all it takes. If you know what to do with the energy, you don't even really need to do fancy energy work in order for you to overcome a viral symptom, because it just means that there's energy being stuck, right? If you look at the symptoms of what constipation is, that's the same thing. The energy has to be constipated first before your body becomes physically constipated, right? So if you're emotionally constipated, that's a form of energy. If you're mentally constipated, that's a form of energy. Then your physical body will become constipated. So if you're mentally constipated, that tends to be what fatigue and all of that stuff comes from. Emotional constipation is usually what the viruses will be aiming for. What attracts viruses, fungal infections, bacterial infections, and all kinds of other wonderful infections, even injuries, right? Because injuries are blocks of energy that are inside the body before the injury ever happens. So if you look at from a spiritual standpoint, or you know somebody spiritual, they probably already know which part of you, let's say you got injured somewhere sometime, and you have somebody who is spiritual, who understands energy and can see energy, they'll already know what part of you got injured, or the general area, because it doesn't necessarily have to be the location of the energy. It could be other areas too. There's all kinds of factors involved when you're talking about infections, diseases, and accidents. Okay, so that pretty much clears up all of this shenanigans. I have no idea why we are in a lockdown. No, of course I do. Of course I do. But we don't need to be in a lockdown. I just go around outside. People probably think I'm crazy because, if you look at 2019 and beforehand, people walking on the streets with a mask, you stare at them like, what? They're wearing a mask? That's weird. And then nowadays, 2020, you walk down the street without a mask and people are like, what? Is that person crazy? Do they want to die? No, it's just I do things like every hour, every couple hours that are antiviral. So, what is the point of worrying about coming in contact with the virus? And if I do contract the coronavirus and get sick from it, then obviously there's something that it's helping me with. So, in spiritual standpoint, there really is no such thing as good or bad. Everything is happening to you, or rather, everything is happening for you. But if you learn how to understand why it's happening, then you can go, oh, okay. Like, let's say I got a mosquito bite. Oh, okay. Now I know where I have some stagnant energies. I have a viral infection. Oh, there's constipation over here. Usually, this often leads to stems from a lot of people who don't really voice what they're feeling or what they're thinking. If the viral infection hits the lungs, then that's sort of emotional deprivation where the person isn't allowing themselves to experience emotions, so it sets in the lungs. There's all sorts of stuff, it can be in the skin, that's what causes sweating. There's all sorts of stuff. It really depends on the person, their past, all of these different circumstances, because there's multiple reasons why a person would get the coronavirus or any sort of illness, really. All right. So with that said, I am gonna keep this video short and hope all of you are doing well. And if you know anybody who happens to be experiencing flu-like symptoms, have them drink some chai. And if that's not enough, then you can go ahead and contact me. There is one more thing, though, I would like to talk about. So, in order to help keep myself more active with my YouTube channel, I have decided to start a Patreon page for my YouTube channel. Because, let's face it, if I get 1,000 subscribers and start turning on ads, that is going to be something that benefits YouTube and the ad people more than it does either of us. So I was looking at Patreon recently because that's been coming into my peripheral, and I'm like, there's something about this for me to check up on. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is a really good way. So when I set up the Patreon, it'll be a simple way for people to support me directly, and that way I can keep my YouTube videos ad-free. Because, let's face it, I don't like ads, and you probably don't like ads either. And the YouTube ad scene is starting to get really ridiculous lately. Like, there are some videos I see with like 12 ads, and I'm like, are you serious right now? This is a meditation. This is for meditation music, and there's 12 ads in the video. How are you going to meditate for an hour when you have 12 interruptions? It's just ridiculous. And even if you're not doing that stuff, maybe you're playing background music, there's like 5 or 6 ads in it. It's just ridiculous. How about we just go to Patreon, support the person directly, and then we can keep everything ad-free and screw all of these companies. Yeah. So that's my plan. I'm going to keep it simple for now because, there isn't too much in my videos yet, but a few dollars here or there does add up over time. So I will get that started soon, and then I'll make a video on it. Then I will start making other videos. I do have a topic on Throwback Thursday that I'm excited to talk about and have been running through my mind multiple times for the last several months. So it's about time for me to make that video. And if you're wondering what the Patreon page is going to be, it's going to be Yoshi the Sage. And it is not up yet. It will be. So, patience. Thank you for tuning in and checking up on me, and also checking up on yourself and what's going on with this crazy society we're in. Okay? They cannot force us to be in a lockdown. This is just ridiculous. This is just another control method that people have tried throughout centuries. It's a tried and true method. It's nothing short of a soft version of martial law. So don't let yourself be bamboozled. None of this is necessary. There's countries that are not even in lockdown. Sweden is doing just fine. They're still having parties. They're still enjoying life. They're still out in the sun. And I would like to do the same as well. So, if you know any politicians, have them cut this nonsense already, because really, there's really no reason to be in a lockdown. And if you know anybody who is, again, having viral symptoms, have them drink some chai. If that's not enough, you can contact me for additional support. Namaskara. See you guys around.